Hi, how are you? Very good, thanks. You can't? Uh, oh, you see that one? Not okay. I thought you saw me. Don't know. Strange. No? Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, yeah, just between us, it's a little bit complex because we need to, most websites are hard coded. So take Bricklink. It's a brilliant site for Lego. It only does Lego. Ours has to serve everything. And it makes it a little bit harder. There's actually a lot changes coming. So we're releasing new code in the next 2 or 3 weeks that hopefully makes some stuff easier. I assume that some of the things you've seen, I've heard. There may be other stuff. So absolutely, let's go through those. Um, the idea is to to make it user friendly as much as you possibly can. Oh yeah, the collection management is shit. We'll change. I mean, we'll change the collection management totally. In fact, we're going to better with the new collection management. It's the worst part of our site. Yeah, I agree with you. We also have to make it more intuitive, right? No, so it's easier to understand. So you don't need instructions. There's help, but ideally, you never look at that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we learned quite a bit from PPG in terms of price guide. So you'll see changes there, and we need a community that does it because it's the manual element that makes it accurate. But of course, that's also what makes it hard. Well, then I mean that's what Trustpedia did, and that's what everyone else does. But then it's very hard for a bot to know what has really happened, which item is perfect condition, what the box condition is in, all that kind of stuff. Or if there's two of the same in the same cell. Any bot. I mean, we're using some bot to pre-sort items, like to remove items. For example, we look for the word. I don't know. Should we start?
Yeah, because we'll go on for like the next 20 minutes just talking. Let me go. I'll get to the screen.
What's with the green background?
So I'm in like the stages of moving my collection. Like I have 50 Hot Toys that I want to unbox. I got all these detops and everything,
I see.
and I'm ready to share them with everybody. But I'm just like, what do I do? So once I get it all done, and normally I have it all set up. World's largest collection that no one can see. All right, guys, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Life of Cletus. Today, we are here with Christian Braun, the CEO of hobbyDB, the world's largest database website that's currently on the market. You would basically know them as, just like his shirt says, Top Price Guide. How many shirts of those are actually for sale?
We made 50 and sold them.
You see, okay, it sounds like when Funko made up my shirt. They made like 50 and they said, that's all you get. That's all you get. So we're here today to talk to him about hobbyDB itself, which I have fell in love with in the past day. We also going to talk about a little bit about Top Price Guide. We're going to answer some of your questions. If you guys have some ideas or something, just leave it in the chat, and I'm going to be able to get them to you, and we're going to talk to Christian about it. So, Christian, we're going to give him we're going to get some backstory first. Where are you guys actually located?
So we're based in Boulder, Colorado.
Boulder, Colorado. Colorado's been pretty good lately. I've seen a lot of good thing on the news. Woo! It's really good. So, how did you get start into collecting yourself?
Well, so I think I've been collecting since I'm 6 years old.
Yeah.
I became a dealer in toy soldiers when I was 11, 12. I started writing a book. I helped my brother writing a book on Seco as a price guide, guide and price guide in 1987. So I've always been at it.
Okay, and what were you? What did you collect, and what are you currently collecting? I see got some good pops in the background.
Yeah, so I have collected these toy soldiers, these figures. You know, they're space figures and cowboys and stuff like that when I was a child. Maybe the precursor of the pop. And since then, I've collected all kinds of stuff. Now, I call myself a collector of collector. You know, we have an advisory council with 82 people, and they have just the most amazing collections out there. I meet collectors every day. You know, people like you,
right?
And it's just amazing. So I love that, and I have a collection of all kinds of stuff. I particularly like 1930s to 1950s space toys.
Okay, and I like the way you collect. So he doesn't actually have to buy all the grails and all those really hard things. He just knows that people have hard to find stuff that's very expensive. I never thought of that. I should just become friends with like the hottest guy and whatever I'm looking for, and be like, hey, can you send me like a picture of that? And be like, all right, man, I think I got some of it. So
I don't know. You have to go there and see it and play with it.
All right, so that's the transition. Okay, I see. All right, so tell us about what hobbyDB is right now in its current state, and how you basically started this whole process.
Well, so hobbyDB I kind of see as a natural extension to Wikipedia. You know, Wikipedia is documenting the important stuff, the politicians, the wars, that kind of stuff. But then they draw a line, and you know we go from there. So, for example, you know, where they have say 3 or 4 pages on Hot Wheels, we have 50,000 every model, and we will document everything that somebody cares enough about to put into the system.
Right.
So,
and your database has how many figures on there?
We have now about 500,000 entries. And we have another 1 million or so that we are adding to it. We call those data donations. So, for example, I've got about 150 books that we digitized, where the author said, I love what you do. You can have my data, just put my name on it. And we add that slowly into the system.
Right. So over time, you guys have basically became that's how you basically became the largest data platform on the web right now, which is hard to actually believe because of how many figures you actually have per person. You showed me an item, say a Batman figure, and then you showed me a Batman car, and then you showed me every variant of that Batman car.
Well,
that
why don't we do that? Should we go through that?
Definitely. Let's do that.
Cool. All right. So I'm sharing my screen with you. Does that work?
Yes, it does. Perfect.
Cool. All right. So we said Batman. So let's just type in Batman. hobbyDB is organized by what we call subjects, things like a character, Batman, or a movie, Batman Returns, designer, a comic series, a brand, a sub-series like Dorps, and then items between your own. So let's go to Batman here. It will show you everything around Batman, like the different actors that played us and the different artists, but it will also show you items that you could own, like here. One of the things that I always wanted to own is the 66 Batmobile. So there you go. You can add it to your wish list.
That's the actual car, folks.
So
that's the actual car.
It tells you there are 4 produced. So it gives you all kinds of information about the Batmobile. And then you can look at things that are related to the Batmobile. So, for example, this Batmobile bubble bath for children here. And you can click on any of those items, find information on that, but then also see what's related. I think we looked at this last time. So this is a Corgi Batmobile that they made in the 50s and 60s, sorry, 60s and 70s. They made a lot of them. And it will show you all the different variations. Anything from, individual made items, code 3s they're called here, customs, to the, stuff that the company produced. This one here is the Holy Grail, the one with the red tires. They weren't actually meant to be produced. But they had nothing left. They put the red tires on there, and they sold it extremely well, apparently.
Right. So when it says produced on there, what is so that produced is just the number of?
That's the number that they produced of the Batmobile as an overall. The split between the different variants is not known, but they made 3 million.
Okay, so there's 3 million totally out there. There was probably
spare parts that make
Gotcha. Yeah, and then you had all the parts that actually take place of that. I thought this was one of the most interesting things because some of us, you got that really big fandom, and maybe you want to collect like the Batman mobile, and then you can see every single Batmobile that has ever been produced, and or the same exact company that actually produced it as well would be it's such a big benefit for us collectors because we're able to go in depth, which we all enjoy doing as we go on, and it's such a great idea that you did, and thankful because right now this is a free website that all of us can just go on there, make an account, and add it to our database.
And it will always remain a free website. I mean, that's it's people that create it. We have 600 curators. We have about 30,000 people have added something to the site, and we've made the mantra data will always be free. You can always use the site. As I said, it should be the native extension to Wikipedia. I wish they would have done this. They didn't, so we did.
Right. So you took the next step of a whole different genre of communities, which is collecting. Which is there's more collectibles than human beings out there, right? And business, right?
And I think the other thing that happened, Cletus, is in the past we produced books, and you can always get an old book like the book I did with my brother together. It's published in 1987. You can still every now and then get it on Amazon. It's not very good, but if you wanted it, you can have it. But websites are not like that. When somebody creates a website and then they're not around anymore, then those websites die and they're gone. And
right.
We've saved about 30 so far. Where we speak to the owner saying, hey, why don't we put all the information on hobbyDB, and that way preserve it. And I think that's important. I mean, take Vinylmation. I think Funko killed Vinylmation. The Disney range that they did. There's 1 or 2 good websites on those out there. Those will disappear in the next 3 to 5 years, and then it's going to be impossible to find that information again because the people that knew are just not there anymore.
Right, and it was a cool story that you were telling me that companies that are losing their websites, they would basically just say, here's our website. Take our website, take our data, and add them to your system because we can no longer keep up with that.
Yeah, I mean, like one of my favorite example is Hugada, the huge game database. 2 guys in Germany beavering away. They've added 64,000 video games. Took them 20 years. And then they got married, and they got an ultimatum from their wives. They said, me or the website.
Yeah.
And the wives won, so the website had to go. But yeah, we spoke to them in time, and show it to you here. We spoke to them in time, and we said, hey, why don't you give us the data? We'll put it up. We'll put your name next to it, and the data will be preserved, and that's what we've done.
Right. So you're like the a active museum, basically, like a museum that's in the works of getting all this data and bringing in whatever you guys can possibly find on the web, and obviously moving into the Pop Price Guide with all those items that are coming in. Basically, every week there's basically a new wave of characters that you got to add to the site. And is Pop Price Guide one of the busiest sites you have for your admins that work on that?
Yes. Pop Price Guide was such a nice site, and when it came in, we, like, as you can see with Ugata, we imported that data into hobbyDB.
Mm-hmm.
Pop Price Guide has such a good community that we didn't want to do that. We want to leave it on its own as it is, and it's managed by a bunch of volunteers that do a fantastic job.
Right. And you recently got that, what was it, last year, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's a year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago, and you were telling me that you took it under and you upgraded it from putting a new car engine in it. I kept the foundation what it was and put a new car engine in it, filled it up with some fuel, and you guys are up to date with everything nowadays.
Yeah, well, we still add that. I mean, you're talking about the data there, but it's the technology as well. I mean, we're driving the car and replacing the engine while we drive it.
That's true.
Yeah, the site has been built by a gentleman called John with a lot of volunteers, and he's done an amazing job for a single person doing it in his free time. But it did need a lot of work. There were many outages in the past where the site just didn't work anymore, and then we're replacing its database and all the technical parts effectively just to make it more scalable. Right.
And I mentioned in that call with you, it made sense why your site had every single Funko item that's basically ever been produced, from Dorbs, T-shirts, to pens, to patch things. Your website was the only one because you were trying to keep all the data from them. So for all the viewers out there, that's why you got to see their website always having all that data on there. Was that something that John was putting in there originally? Because he always had them on there, and it always keeping base, so it kind of was worked out perfectly for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that was the beauty of that site. It almost has everything. We don't have prototypes. I'd like to get those as well. We're missing some catalogs. We're missing letters and documentation. I've just been to the toy fair, and I picked up all these business cards here. I don't know if you can see those from Funko. Which are beautiful in themselves. Because everything these guys do, they just do amazingly. All these. So I wasn't quite sure if I should add these, but we certainly want to add everything that has been made by Funko, always in regards to Funko.
Yeah, I go to the booth. Their booth has always been the largest one since I started collecting. At the toy fair, I don't think it's the biggest. I think Lego was a little bit bigger. They had the biggest sign. I always grade them by how big their signs are. And Lego had like the biggest sign, so I was like, I guess Lego's still the champion. But at the cons, Funko is the king of kings. And like you said, even their business cards are like high quality.
Those large figures that they have there, right? I mean, I don't know if they're 1:5 scale or whatever they are. Those really large ones they have in the stand. We'd like to get those done as well. I mean, they should be limited.
That's cool. And then, like you said, you're going to try to add some prototypes over time, which is... I think it'd be good for you guys to have it, actually, because if you guys can give some, you get some data from it, and then being able to help the communities, actually knowing that there's 2 different types, there's 3 different types of prototypes, there's colored ones, there's the white ones, there's the ceramic ones that I own, there's different ones out there that people have no idea, and it's just us taking the data in and then just trying to explore it out to everybody.
Yeah, so for Hot Wheels, for example, we have about 1,000 prototypes in now. I mean, yeah, so we're still missing 8,000 or 9,000, but yeah, that's the biggest amount that's out there. We'll never get complete, but the idea is to get as close as possible to it.
Yeah, actually, the best person to actually talk to would be so Fugitive Toys has a thing with Funko where they give out the prototypes to, I don't know what the percentage is, but they have a party every year. That you just get protos.
I saw that. I mean, the other thing I want to do is let me just get one of these items here. This one here. The other thing we want to do is that was one of my early purchases. No, I didn't pay too much for it, but I don't know if you can see that.
You gotta put you on the screen because I got the your screen sharing it.
Okay. 1 second.
Actually, that works right there. Nah, maybe not. That looks like
yeah.
There you go. Oh, you got what's his name from the Disney parks?
Yeah.
Oh, and he got a pop stack.
But it's fake. And
it is.
Yes, and I tell you, I went. There's a nice group of people here meet in Denver, and I was new to the subject, and I went and I showed it to them, and we discussed it. And many people say it's fake, but nobody really knew why. I figured it out in the end. It's a number of things, the number here and a few other things.
Yep.
I'd like to document that. I think that's a great service for new people to the hobby, where you can explain, hey, what makes a fake?
Right. Definitely. There's so many different fakes per actual style, because sometimes the box or on the box, all of a sudden you get like a pop like this, and the crown, say the crown over here is like just off by just a tab. Or if you get if I had a Dragon Ball Z pop, you could like go on the back there, and then it'd be like one snowflake that's off, and you're like, that's the one that gives you the one that tells you the fake. Yeah. I know with the Beerus Funko Pop, the arms out, the paint jobs, but there's so many fakes that are going out there. Now,
because hearing that would be great for newbies, right?
Oh, absolutely. Even in just telling people what they're actually looking at on a Funko Pop box.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what the numbers mean. They don't know what factory means on the bottom. Why is some printed? Why doesn't some have the JJLs on there, or the numbers that don't add up, and then why is it different for cons, and why is it not different for this, and it's exclusive. So it's a whole nother category of fun.
Yes.
for us. But also, so recently I got involved with a individual who's doing graded Funko Pops. He's grading his Funko Pops now, and I think it's going to be like the next itch when it comes to these people collect comic books, and they just took their favorite series of their favorite of comic book, and they would grade them, and they put them to the side, and people always read these comic books. But all of a sudden, because we live in a social media now where everybody's able to get social media and watch every single show, if you don't have TV, I don't know. I feel totally bad for you, because you're probably one of the few people in the entire world that doesn't have a television access to watch TV, to where now that you buy these Funko Pops and they're basically like comic books. And I've been treating them like comic books for quite a while. Like, I just take them and I store them away like a comic book. But a company just came out and they started grading them, and they have their own database where they're putting together their graded Funko Pops. I can see something like that being in the future as well for you guys. Right now,
we're talking to. I mean, there are about 12 agencies that do that. The Action Figure Authority,
right?
Ada, a bunch of others. And coins have certain ones that are very good at that. Comics have others. Action figures, diecast. I'm of two minds personally. I mean, I already find it bad enough to put this thing into this protector here. But I can at least untake that out and look at it.
Right.
I don't want to have my stuff totally put away. I mean, doing a Action Figure Authority action figure wrap costs you $30. If you ever want to get to it again, you have to pay that again. Right. So I see the application, I see the value, but I personally don't like it so much.
Okay. Yeah, because so you took that guy out of the box. Now, I have, like holographic Darth Maul. It's valued around $2,000 to $3,000. I'd never take him out of the box. I don't take any of these $1,000 pops out ever.
Yeah.
I don't want to take a picture of them. I'm just like flash off to the side. So when it comes to that, like, because most people buy these higher end stuff and they just put it in the protector and they never let it out ever. So, and then the thing is, they're going to get it graded, so you don't have to take it out, take photos in it, and then post up all over the web. So, all right, I got you feeling for that, which is nice, you know. Now, getting back to the pop price guide thing, it's basically ran the way it was, and you guys are currently up to date with the items as they come up. And Funko is going to be giving us a little bit, giving you guys more of a heads up on how they're doing everything leading into their new app coming out.
Yeah, so they wanted, as you know, they bought Stashpedia, they wanted pricing on there, but I think they also realized that it's the same with the grading authorities, right? I mean, you need to you only send it to somebody to grade if people respect that, and that's an independent price. And it's the independence, I think, that's important. Mm-hmm. So what Funko wanted is independent pricing. So nobody would say, hey, they're manipulating the secondary market. They wouldn't do that, but this way there's no appearance of that whatsoever.
Right. So that makes actually less work for you guys, but you guys are going to still keep your pop price guide up to date, and then meaning like you guys are going to keep adding the new figures that you're going to have to use them on the website. If there's a new character with a new thumbnail coming out, you guys are going to have to do that.
In fact, we want to go further than that. So I'll show you. This is the Batman in red chrome, and this is on hobbyDB.
Right.
You can see here the price information same way as on PPG, but you can also see here that we've now adding hobbyDB prices to that. Basically, more price points. And I think people have always asked for that. Give me. I mean, really, what we want is we want to show every single sale of this figure, regardless of where it is. But there are limitations of what we can do. So the hobbyDB pricing is the next one that we introduce. We run 6 Funko-related marketplaces, so that will add information, and you will see that going forward also on Pop Price Guide.
Right. And for you guys who don't know, so hobbyDB has its own marketplace as well, and Pop Price Guide has its own marketplace. There's a few other sites that have their own marketplace, but he was just talking about having a hobbyDB site as well as using your Pop Price Guide. And I was using their site recently, and it was very easy to just list an item that I want to take a photo to add to my collection. I can just take the photos, and if I want to put it up there for a price, I can put it up there with just a few clicks of the button because of the photos was already up there. I thought that was it was just so smooth to use on my phone or on a computer.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, so this is the same red chrome Batman here on our marketplace. Let's look at it here. There it is. It's the same thing. So you can see it here on PPG marketplace, and we also run marketplace on Pop Finals, which is another fine website on information on Funko. So it's here, same thing. Funko Pop News, same thing. So you list the item once, it shows up in all the other marketplaces. And then the nice thing is that transaction is two-way confirmed. If you buy that, the money flows through us, and we pay the seller. So we really know that transaction happened.
Right.
And if that gets reversed, then that price point gets removed, which is something we don't have with eBay. Now, with an eBay transaction, you don't really know if it happened. We do check for that, by the way. If let's say that Darth Maul that you just mentioned, that gets sold for $2,500, and then we see the same seller selling that a week later, well, we know that the first sale didn't happen. We remove that.
Gotcha. That's
so the team is actually almost like detectives in that regard. They look at these things and saying, hold on, we saw that item sold beforehand. Let's check that. We also remove items that are sold by people that do this kind of stuff, that sell
Right.
sell items that they shouldn't sell. So, and we remove certain sellers. There are certain sellers that we don't take any prices from because we know they're not good.
Right. I remember there was this that Mr. Meekseek Funko Pop that sold for like $98,000, and I was like, wait till this thing goes on to Pop Price Guide, and you just explained why I would never actually ever get there with that. Wow. So that's
well. I
cool.
mean, we do make mistakes. There's a few items that do come through, and then there's an amazing community that tells us, hey, this price is no good. They flag it, and then we'll remove it.
Right. Yeah. How long does it take you actually? I remember I always put a flag in for certain pops when I've seen them, especially when you get the higher end ones. How long does it take for them to actually remove it? Because you put a flag in it, and then I think like a month or so would go by before they actually took it down, which gives somebody a month to play with, which was very frustrating.
When we changed, all the pricing now for hobbyDB and Pop Price Guide is done through the same system, which we rebuilt. We totally rebuilt. During that period, it was a little longer. Every item that's over $300, we do next morning. So we sort them by price because like a $1,000 sale on a $300 item has much more impact than a $40 sale on a $20 item. Also, because it's also how many items have been sold, like that red chrome Batman that we're looking at. Mm-hmm. We have 600 prices on that.
Yeah, that
makes no difference there. But Comic-Con special from 2012, or like some of the Wobblers, they only sell every 2 or 3 years. Every price point is extremely important. Right.
But at the end of it starts at the beginning, so we try to get it down right away, which is something before you guys took over. It was good for people who knew about that, bad for the collector who was selling it at the time.
Yeah. So since about maybe 3-4 months or so, everything that comes in gets sorted by price, by importance. Same with the new prices that we look at. We do the most expensive items first, then go to the mid-level, and then go to the low level because they're just much more important.
So when you first took the company over, did you add more admins overall? So say they had like 20, you guys added an extra whatever. Did you guys add the same amount of people that was working on there, or did you?
Well, it is a volunteer team, and any volunteer team, varies a lot. I used to run forums in my last job, and it's the same thing. You have forum administrators. Sometimes they spend more hours than they really have in the daytime on it, and then they're gone for 2 months. Then what happens is people choose an area that they like. So, we have somebody who does Disney items, we have somebody who does Dorps, and those always get done immediately, and then the rest falls onto our team. So it's a mix of volunteers and the hobbyDB team. Mm-hmm. We'll take on the stuff that is not so popular at the moment, or where the volunteer doesn't have time, or something else is happening.
Are you guys still taking applications for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you guys in chat. Someone asked, what is the minimum amount of sales of a pop before a price is determined? That's from Sometimes Pops.
Right. I think at the moment it's around 5 days. We are looking at that as we speak. So PPG had a very restrictive system on when to put on a pop first for sale. Because when a pop comes in, particularly if it's anything exclusive, prices often go sky high and then drops a little bit and then may settle again. So it has that kind of curve. And
knuckleball. That thing is like this. That con release. That thing goes up and down. I was looking at them. For instance, the infamous there was a gold Chrome Vegeta from San Diego Comic-Con that came out. It was selling at $500, and by the end of the day of the actual release, it was down to like $40. After, because it was released all over internationally, it was just like. I don't know how there was sales everywhere. It was unbelievable. So it was not even a point of to actually even put up a sale unless it was 5 days past, like you said.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're considering is to show you price curves of similar items. Take the San Diego specials. We could show you the last 6 or 7 years of those and a curve of that, so that you probably pay a little more You should know that anyway, but you probably pay a little more when you buy it on the first day.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's pretty cool because you had to charge for that because most of the time, I think after eBay, it's like 60 days. You can't really see too many sales unless it's like a rare item. After like 60 days or 90 days, you're like...
It's 90 days, then they're gone.
90 days, and you never can see it again unless you... the only reason I was even able to find out for the ones that I did was when I purchased. I'm like, all right, let me look at my sales. I think it keeps it up to 2 to 3 years. And then I'm like, oh... I got to write these all down. But I started being able to, at that time, I started moving stuff over to Pop Price Guide to be able to individually catalog everything, which I feel like I'm going to be moving over to hobbyDB because you guys are able to do something special on your site because you don't have just one site for this, one site for that. You could go on here. You could add, I seen that you had hot toy figures. You had action figures galore. You even have a category that you can add custom stuff as well when it comes to things that you just purchased. Say you guys just purchased something at home and you want to add how much you paid for that and you want to add it to your collection. You can actually take photos of it, add it to your collection. You can actually look at it and go back on it on time. So do you guys want show them the steps that you have to take when you add something in all the different categories that you can choose from when you get a new item from any figure, from a Funko Pop or anything you could think of. Funko Pops is usually what we do a lot of. So
sure, let's do that. So let's assume this Hanuman here. You can just add him to your collection right here.
Right.
That adds him in perfect condition. Nothing else. So if you want to do that, that's fine.
Just like Stash PD. It'd be like Stash PD. You just click add to my collection.
That's right. You can also add him to your wish list, and you will then get a notification when he comes up for sale. If you want to add him in more details, you click in, and then add to collection here, and then you can do your condition degree. Slide. Add something here. Right. You can say how much you paid, where you bought it from. Inherited this one here. When you can put private notes, your storage location, on fridge, I don't know, something. And you can add your own photos if you wanted to, or you can just add them to your collection like that.
Right. And then that's the most in-depth way you can actually add anything to your item. And then for people who wanted to, you could upload your own photos on there, so you could go take it up.
And you can do it later too. So, you can just go back and add your own photo, and you can even sell it from here. Just click that button and it goes for sale. So you can change the information at any point of time. And if you buy it on the site, you also see who owned it before. So if I buy from you, Kletos, it will tell me that it came out of your collection.
And now if I sold it, would it come from someone else that as well? So would it like keep that backlog of where?
Yes, it would.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's you put a smile on my face because I'm the same as just your website is. The data of where that item came from, I want to know just for my own personal. It don't do anything. At least I know personally if that guy got it from this guy, who got it from there, or he got it from Tom down the block. I want to know who got it, and also the fact that was that guy a collector? Was that guy just taking these pop moving this or whatever the item is, just doing whatever with it? I was wondering if do you guys have NECA figures on your site too yet?
Yes, we do. So we're the official archive for Kid Robot, which is the NECA brand now. And we have tons of the other stuff. In fact, I met Jorel, CEO there, at the toy fair. Okay. I think their stand is right next to Funko, about adding everything else that they do. So it's going to be a lot of work because I'm not sure if they have it all. We talked about that. This is Kid Robot here, where we've got everything that they've won.
Right.
Randy Falk is an inductee in the Pop Culture Hall of Fame, which I share. And so I met him, and we talked about his stuff because we also like to celebrate the people behind it. For example, let's see. This item here is by Frank Kozik, who works for NECA. And this is its official archive. So the idea is to also celebrate the people that do stuff. If you go to Kid Robot, very famous for having lots of artists. So you can see them right here. So we got all these different artists. Every one of them has their own page, and it shows the work that they have done.
Wow, that's in depth.
And the nice thing is Hak G here. You can. We have 83 figures from him, but it also gives you his Wikipedia entry and his official site. So if you want to find out more, this could be your point to find out more about Hak G or effectively any other artist.
It's like LinkedIn for nerds.
Yeah. Like
that. Straight up. Oh, man. I'm loving it. I love the fact with the customization. You said you're going to be working on because I mentioned the little problem I was having when you added them to the collection. Like if I added a hot toy, if I added a Funko Pop, it all just went under one category. Down the road, you are looking to sort them all out. So if I went on there and I just went to my collection, they would all just be in their own little categories.
What we really want to do is have you have the flexibility of sorting them the way you like. Everybody looks at stuff different, right? I mean, you may say, I want Disney, I want all my Disney stuff versus all my Star Wars stuff. Or you're just saying, I want Funko versus, NECA versus Mezco. Or maybe you put it in brackets of black toys versus pink toys. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, we would like to be able to support that. So you should be able to sort your collection the way you like.
Wow. That's everything you could possibly think of as a collector. That's like, this is like the hidden gem for us and for myself, for being a Funko collector, not knowing that there was a site like this. And for everybody, I don't think too many people knew about a site like this, because when I went on to the NECA forums or the Hot Toy forums, the Funko forums, Funko would just say, hey, there's just pop price guide at the time, and that was it. Then Stash Peter came around, that was it. But nobody knew how come we don't have this other stuff for these other collectibles that we have? Why can't we have another thing? I know I downloaded multiple different apps where I would just be like, it would call like a shelf, and you would just put all your stuff on a shelf, and I'm taking pictures of all these Pokemon cards, like, okay, this is my shelf. It didn't have that customization feature like you guys have here on this site, which is cool. And what was that? What do you guys call it when you guys add in like a figure that's not on there? Like it's just something from my own house. Say it was like the mouse that we were speaking about. Like I added that, it would go under my collection as like a custom. Well, what would it go under?
I mean, you can add customs to the site. Let's see if I can find one. This one here, for example, this is a custom it's a Hot Wheel model, but it was made by Nightstalk Customs, and he has his own page. And, we regard it the same way as the main Hot Wheel entry. So it's really based on this model here. This is a Hot Wheels model. And you can see we have a section on customs, and there's 67 customs in there made by all kinds of people. Like this one is a Japanese company that does this amazing stuff. And for us, it doesn't really matter if there's one of them made or a million. You can add it to the system, and then obviously you can own it or want to own it.
That's interesting. Because so how would that work with, I got introduced to a Funko fanatic who won like an award from Funko for like the best custom Funko Pops of 2018 at the time. Would she be able to like make an account on there and be part of that, or?
Absolutely. Let's say you want to. Let's just assume you're using this guy here, and you made a custom of it.
Right.
Right. So all you got to do is go in here, add a variant, and then the definition is you put in your own name for that. So let's say you made it, so I put in Cletus.
What a beautiful name, huh? Look at that last name on the back of it.
All right, so I'll take that. So and that basically creates a page for you as well. So I'll just add my item now, and I'm saying it's I don't know. Let's say you made it in Chrome yellow. Let's just put it yellow and Chrome. And now you can add an image. Obviously, we don't have one for that because you haven't made it yet. But by adding that, it now adds it into the system. If you go into the system, you will be able to see it here as the yellow item that you made.
Right, and then because it was a Funko Pop or Pop, you put Batman, but if it was a Pop, it would go into the Pop category, and maybe she mixed it in with the Marvel thing, and you could go just clicking on these little links that take you to this.
Yeah, and then you will have a page on Cletus, which is new. So we can now go in and make changes to that page.
So that's cool. I do got a custom pop for myself from the artist.
So we say somebody in sports, let's say, also called Hammer, and so you're starting creating a page here. I don't know. I don't have an image for you. Don't really have anything. So I don't have an image of you right now. But you could add your own image.
Right, add my own image of the collectible.
That creates your page.
And so I basically could go on here and create my own page, and I can basically use it as my own personal shop at some point, at a basic point, for myself as a collector, which is pretty awesome. What do you guys think about that? I think that's freaking unbelievable, because it's, like I said before, it was like a LinkedIn for nerds, and it really is in that extent where I could just add my own profile, put my own collection together. I can send people my links to come to here. You probably can.
Yeah, we also have a Facebook integration, so if you want to sell something, you can put it in a Facebook group, because that's where a lot of the transactions happen.
Okay. Oh, you guys, now, there's all those transaction and everything. So would there be a database of all those transactions one day? Like, not currently, like in the future, like, hey, there's sales. You guys would come together on like hobbyDB, and then you guys would finalize it and so on and so forth. I know there's a lot more trust in that, but.
Well, I mean, you can sell an item here. Let's say, you're yellow Batman. We want to sell that. So you just click on the sell button. You put in your price, $99.99. It's made by you after all. Your condition degree. So I've now, and I'm using a standard photo, I've now listed this for sale. I can now take that and go to Facebook and put that in here.
Wow.
And it will create, obviously we didn't have a photo.
Yeah. No. And now what's the fee for that? If I sold something off there?
Well, the key thing is if you click through here, so there's a nice item of Cletus, no image. If I click on there, I go back to the item here, I can buy it here.
Right. I have all the photos. And now after the sales goes, is there a percentage like eBay?
Yes, it's 7%.
7%, which is still better than eBay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so when I was talking to a few comic book shops about 2 years ago, they were talking about how they were selling a lot of stuff on Pop Price Guide, and when you clicked on the link, it would take you to hobbyDB, which has it right here. And 7%, like I said, it's cheaper than eBay, and you're still safe. The same kind of terms. It's going to go through PayPal, right? Same kind of thing goes on. And now if there is a conflict, they would call your contact.
Well, if there's a full guarantee, basically. So if you have a transaction on our site, you can always, you have 5 days in which to tell us that you don't like the item, you can return it.
Okay, right. And then obviously they have eBay that goes for whoever the seller is wins forever. So.
Well, here you basically contact us.
Right.
There's this green button here on the side. You can contact us regarding anything, and then we'll take care of it.
Right, and because you guys are so up to date, and that's like, that's probably number one priority over there. Somebody puts a claim in like that, you guys would be on top of there. Now, say if there's some more interest into people wanting to, for instance, the SH Figure Arts. If the community got big enough, would you then be able to start like adding it, and then they would start doing their own guide as well? Meaning, like I'm into SH Figure Arts. You guys don't have them on your sites. Well, I don't think you have too much Dragon Ball Z on your sites. And how big of that particular item would it have to be with the community coming on using your database for that?
Well, I mean, you can start adding items today. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. We give you an example. We are creating an archive for garbage pail kids at the moment. And in that case, there's a website called gpk.com. There's a decent start database. There was a collector called Andy Goodman, who's also a big Funko collector. And there were 2 or 3 other people that came together. And we are now working on, we've added the first 5,000 items. And we are adding another 10,000 in the next few weeks with this group of people. So it's a combination of them and us. So, you go in and there's Atom Bomb and it's all happening. It's all coming in.
Right.
Because these guys, and the nice thing is you can see how it all hangs together. So here's a bunch of Funko items that we already had, of course. And then the Garbage Pail Kids trading cards came in next. And now we do drawings and posters and all kinds of other stuff.
Gotcha. And now I can see why you go to the toy fair, because you want to get those people database. Like I would have to get you up. Like, come on, can you please go over to the Bandai booth and get some?
Yeah, I've been to the Bandai booth. I mean, I mean, it's a lot of fun to go to the toy fair. If you ever can, you should. And then,
I've gone the last 2 years.
Yeah, so we met Bandai, we met Super 7, we met obviously Funko, we met NECA, we met Diamond. We met everybody there that does anything in pop culture.
And so when you do that, you're trying to build a relationship with them, and then just be like, we would like to use your data, and then you're able to bring all that data onto your site.
Yeah, we have about 200 companies who have given us their data already. From a company perspective, it's a great thing, right? I mean, like we create pages, we give you exposure, we create an archive, and we add to your data as soon as you give it to us. It gets better. They sometimes struggle with time, but that's all we want from them. We want them to give us everything that they have, and then we'll start adding it in.
Yeah, and they're better off doing it. Let you do it because it's a lot of grunt of the work, and it only helps their company by having more data out there for more people that collect to be like, oh, I want this. They go with that. This goes with that. Oh, this all goes together, and it makes sense to just be like, hey, have fun with it. We're the best.
That's right. And we can't imagine how often people reach out to companies saying, hey, what did you make in 1985, or did you make this thing in blue, or whatever it may be? And now they can just say, I think we may, but check our archive. So we create official archives so that they can just send people there. And from our perspective, it's great because they know they're super fans, and that's the ones that we need. Right? I mean, we like to get whatever data the brand has, and then we like to get access to their super fans that know the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So for everybody that's watching this, Pop Price Guide is probably just 1% of this entire website of how many people and how many collectibles that are on it. You showed me a list of all those world record breaking individuals that what are they? They're administrators on here.
And what we do is we have what we call contributors. So contributors add to the system. Next step is a curator. A curator is responsible for a certain section. Let's say you can be the creator for Dorps, or you can be the creator for your own page once we create that. Then the next level up is a champion. A champion is responsible for a wider section of the site. And then we've got admins. So people can work their way through that. The list I showed you was our advisory council. I call them the VIPs of the collectible world.
Yeah.
Here they are. And so they have a certain interest. So Ed Cato does Captain Action. He remakes them. Todd here is currently writing a book on Kenner and early Star Wars toys. Philip runs a museum on slot cars. So every one of these has their own little area of expertise and interest, and they help us. Wolfgang here has the largest collection of pest dispensers in the world. They help us with getting the information right in the section. They also often give us information itself.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's pretty interesting that you got these like Hall of Famers on there to be able to then give you authority, be like, hey, no, this goes with this, that goes with that, and so on and so forth, which is that these guys, this is their passion, this is their dream, this is what they collect. I get it, which is interesting. And you got a lot of them. Look at that list.
Yeah. So Nearly has the official record for the largest collection of Monopoly sets, the Guinness record for that, 20,000 games.
That is, think about how many different variants of characters, and say you've just got one box, you got to put in the other box the character. He's probably OCD, wants each piece of each one.
He's a very nice chap. Richard's house is full of Lego. Like, you come to his house, you can barely open the door. There is Lego sets everywhere, from the initial wooden stuff that they made to the very first pretty crude sets to Death Star.
Gotcha. So a gentleman in here is about 125,000 subscribers. He wrote, his name's Top Pops. Are there websites like Pop Price Guide for other collectibles like Lego, Hot Toys, Marvel Selects, etc.?
Well, interesting. Hot Toys, I mentioned to you earlier, we like to rescue sites. There was collectht.com, which is where we got our data from. So collectht, collecthottoys.com. And we are trying to build out all these other areas. And the other thing that we're working on is you can come to the site going forward and personalize it. So you can say, so in your case, I like Hot Toys, I like Funko, I like Mezco.
Right.
I don't know what else you like, but maybe you like boxing memorabilia from the 50s to the 80s. You can add that into your profile, and that's all you got to see then until you change it.
Right. So what really has to happen is if somebody wants to get like Marvel Selects or something like that, a whole admin team would have to come together and present something to you guys to be able to be part of that. Is that how?
No, you can just join the site and start adding information in. And if we, so all the information is by type. Decoys have very different information to pest dispensers, to comics, to posters. So if we have your type, you can just add immediately information into it. If we don't have your type, we work with you together to add it to the system. And then again, you can add it, and you may want to call out other people to help you with that. And also, naturally, over time, people join up onto the project.
Right. I could see somebody joining and then just being like, hey, I know somebody that's even better at this. And it just goes like snowballs. And next thing you got a whole team together like Pop Price Guide. Now, and going further would be like, so you guys have an admin team for the Pop Price Guide thing. How would that work if like the Marvel Selects, like if I added the Marvel Selects, obviously it's not going to have a price guide on there because you guys don't really have those figures on there.
Well, so let's say you want to do those, we have a lot of Marvel figures. Let's say Diamond Select. We probably have about a third of what they've made. We're talking to them getting the rest, as far as they have that.
Uh-huh.
If you were going to come in and want to run that, we would give you you would make you a contributor and a curator for that particular section of the catalog. We would then enable pricing for the information to flow in, and then you'd be in the same position as the Funko group here, where you can add prices and allocate them to items and make sure that those prices are correct, the item is in perfect condition, the transaction did happen, etc., etc.
And some people, they love doing it though, right? They love
each other.
Oh, excuse me. Go on.
Yeah. So, and then we set up a Facebook group for, let's say there's 3 or 4 of you. We'll set up a little group where you can talk with us about technical questions and between yourselves about the rules that should apply, and then we implement that.
Oh, that's cool, because I know I don't collect them, but I know a lot of YouTubers who are big into the community and they're obsessed with them. There's this one gentleman, his name's like Deadpool Live, and he just what I do in Funko, he has it in Marvel, and I'm like, and it's like night and day. It's not like the same as a collectible. Every collectible is basically different. When you're talking collectibles to somebody, you're like, I don't know what language he's talking, but I know what the language over here is, even though it's the same human being. So, man, that's I can see. I like the way you can start something up, so that gentleman can go grab 3 or 4 people. They come together. You guys start a little Facebook group, get in contact with you guys, and then next thing you know, they're actually running the guide, the price guide for the figures, which is sounds pretty cool, especially for these 40-year-old men who are they're stuck a little bit in their lives. So, wow. But I wanna finish this up. Going up because we want to do 1 hour. So what's the improvements that you're looking to do going into 2019? By the end of 2019, like you want to get them in, get it done by this year.
Okay, so we'd like to get more price points added to the guide. hobbyDB prices is one. We probably will bring in charts. I think that was a nice thing at Stashpedia, the way they were charted. Mm-hmm. So I think you'll see that coming. And then probably most importantly, want to make a lot of improvement on collection management. The ability to sort your items, the way you want them, present them the way you want them, possibly making big changes on the profile where you can show what you want to show to the world. So the idea is you should be able to build your own museum. Let's say you choose 20 pops that you like most, and you can show those off. But then you also have collection management, which allows you to see everything that you have, your 2,000 other items.
Right, and I love it already because people always ask, "What's your favorite Funko Pops?" Right? Yeah. What's your favorite collectibles? I'm like, "Oh, here's my hobbyDB nerd page. Come head over. You can see my top 10 figures." They're that
right was there. I mean, that was a genius invention by John and his team. The top 10. People really really like that. So we'll definitely build on that. I could see top 10 most valuable, top 10 most liked.
Right.
Top 10
you can
Star Wars items.
Even if you customize it, because that's one thing Stashpedia has very well is I can go to on a PC. If I go to Star Wars, I can search it by highest value, and then work my way down. And that's for any of the items. I can just go search Han Solo high to low. But even if I go and put up, like remember MySpace used to be like your top 10 friends or whatever it was, top 10 friends, and you could customize them. And I could be like, hey, this is my favorite Funko Pop. It's not the highest valued one, but he's up there. And I put him up there for whatever reason, and then I put a different collectible maybe with that. And that would be definitely very cool to be able to...
Well, I mean, top 10 items I really want to have, top 10 toys from the 1980s. Wow. You may or may not have. The idea of building your own lists, I think, is just cool. And then you can share those or keep them for yourself.
Right. I'll send them all over to the girlfriend for Christmas.
There you go. There you go.
Said no every time. No. I'm like, come on, it's only like $2,000. Oh, cool. So I'm excited to see what you guys have. I'm excited to be able to share not just the Pop Price Guide, but your entire website, what it's about, how people can go and maybe start their own way to get onto your page as a administrator for something and join their own group and be able to start their own little collectibles that they're missing out on, because I know there's a lot of people who collect different things. If you guys want to start something up, you can definitely come in here, and you guys have all the contact information, and the support system is on chart on hobbyDB. You guys got a marketplace. You got basically a museum for your own guys and your own custom page that you can add and share with the entire world, which is what I got out of this whole thing, and everything I would need as a collector right here at hobbydb.com, to the point where you've seen it recently with Funko teaming up with the small part of their entire thing, Pop Price Guide, which is a small percentage of the entire website in general. I hit that on the head?
Yeah, you did. And if we didn't answer, I know we earlier called for questions. So if somebody has a question that we didn't answer, there's a contact us button here. Just fill it out and say for Christian, and I'll come back to you.
Right. Here's a quick question: Will Pop Price Guide differentiate between mint and non-mint prices? I believe you said something like that. They're going to do from box damage to not box damage to be even loose ones, right?
Yeah, that would be probably my first choice to go to loose. We already have that in hobbyDB because some people don't really care that much about the packaging. So I think we'll go that first, and then the next one is to be able to give you an estimate of what what difference some damage makes in the box or on the item itself.
Right. I think you're better off just going with a chart with that because people so particular. Oh, this is damaged this way, and another box is completely crushed, and that would just be too much work. But if you just kept it loose, moving on to the prototypes and just having a box in general, it's great. So yeah, don't go with the grading of the. Oh my God, that's not a near mint to mint. All right, cool. Again, thank you. It's been an hour. Hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys can check it right back on afterwards. Check out hobbyDB. Go make an account. Add your collections and have fun for sure. Anything else you want to say?
Thanks. Take care.
Awesome. See you guys. Have a good